Marlene Hoskins, it's wonderful to be able to reconnect with you. And today's Halloween, and we're also celebrating the upcoming launch in about less than a month now of the Imaginist and Fairytales, Fables and Folklore. And you wrote a pretty amazing chapter for this book called Hilarity Jane Hardy. And your quote for the chapter is laughter. I just love this quote. Laughter is carbonated holiness. I think that's amazing. That is beautiful. So, what was the inspiration behind Hilarity Jane Hardy?
Um, I had a real hard time coming up with anything. I blogged about it this morning, I think. Um, Sharyn had asked me last summer to write a story, and I told her I was in the throes of dealing with breast cancer, so I said, "There's no fairy tale in me right now."
Not going to happen.
It was like, okay, what am I going to come up? So she came up and had a visit with me, and we chatted for a while. And um, I'm a real storyteller, and it's easier to do verbally sometimes before I write it. So I was telling her a story of something that had transpired, and we turned it into a fairy tale.
That
You
is
know,
beautiful. Yeah.
it's what and it has to be about, for me, laughter is probably the greatest gift we've ever been given. Um,
Absolutely.
Without it, I don't know how we would survive the journey that we're all on. Uh,
It is a journey too, and sometimes if you don't, they say it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile, but sometimes when you've got that frown on, it doesn't feel like it.
I think I spend my days, and I've been doing this since I was a kid, because life was really tough. Um, the whole journey's been an e-ticket ride, and I found as a little kid even that if I could make somebody laugh, or if I could find humor from the depths of anything, life just got better, no matter how hard it was.
Right.
And I was the kid that went home from school with tape across my mouth because I wanted to make everybody laugh about just about anything.
Oh, what a special gift. Yeah. And
Well, sometimes it kind of comes through me, not because of me. It's like, this is what needs to happen today. And the humor will come through me. I don't know where it comes from. I can't remember it afterwards.
uh, well, laughter is the best medicine, isn't it?
It is really. That's kind of what's kept me going through all of this.
Wow. Wow. And so the idea that we need humor in our life and being able to tap into that. I'm sure coming home from school with tape over your mouth because you probably did too much laughing and talking and all of that. And now as you've gone through and you've had your health challenges and your all the things that we all face in life. Um, what do you hope that if somebody picks up this book and gets to your chapter, what do you hope they take away from it?
Um, no matter how hard life can be, there's always some place to find something to lift you up out of it. You know, um, you can't look at the problem. You've got to look at where I look for the funny in everything. Um, I've been a Halloween costume for the last 12 years, or maybe no, 13.
Oh,
Um,
it's
there
starting
we go
that
again.
again. There it is.
Up.
Stop your video again and then start it back up.
Okay. Yeah. I used to be in 13 years ago when I got Bell's palsy. I was like um, a scary lady face. And so I just started to learn how to make fun of it and laugh with it. Just anything.
Well,
No matter how tough it is, there's always something good. No, you just have to look for it.
right. And it's always can't wait to see the good that comes from this, you know.
That's why I write, basically, is to lift,
Right.
because
And
I see many.
right. Have you done a lot of writing in your life? I know you've contributed to some of Sharyn's books.
Yeah, I
Um,
wrote one other for her that she persuaded me to. I never wrote before, until 12 years ago when I started blogging. I mean, I wrote a journal. I wrote, every day something. Um, but it wasn't, I never had time for writing. It was take care of basics in the world.
right.
But when I started blogging, that changed my perspective on everything. And today is my 12th anniversary.
Wow.
I started my blog on Halloween, and then I connected with the rest of the world, and that's it's been for me, a chance to, no matter what somebody's going through, find a way to lift them,
Right.
to be
And
there.
doesn't writing make such a difference as far as creating a new perspective?
It absolutely changes perspective.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I wish I had been able to do it sooner, but it just wasn't. Um, Now I can't not. I have to write every day
Wow.
something.
How beautiful. And you know that I find that when I write, you have to use a part of your brain that kind of has to, in order to express so that somebody else can read what you've
Exactly.
written, you have to use other parts of your brain. And in that sense, as you begin to put the words together, it makes you really kind of think and sometimes see something that was really tough in a whole new perspective because you have to use all this brain power up here to do that. But I think it's very healthy for the brain to be able to put pen to paper and kind of figure the journey along the way.
And the thing with writing by hand too is it uses a different part of the brain
Hmm. Yes, it
than
is. Then
than
typing.
typing.
Yeah.
And you get a whole different perspective if you use, and I do a lot of my writing is with a fountain pen on in notebooks, and it changes how you write.
It would, yes. I think that, one of the things I work with a lot of authors to get their books published. And one thing I always encourage them to do is to read their book aloud. When, or, if they wrote just one chapter or they wrote an entire book, read it aloud. And because when we look at our screen and we've typed it up on screen, um, our brain says, yes, I know what it says. I already wrote that. I know what it says. So we skim, we don't really read. But if you
We
take,
read what we want to see, what we think we see.
right,
And even when I write like a blog post, it's around 500, maybe 600 words. I always keep it kind of short, but I read it 4 or 5 times and out loud, because that's where I find how the flow is.
right, right. My
If
authors
somebody else is
that
going to get
listen
what I
to
mean.
me, right,
Yeah,
my authors that listen to me and actually follow that and read aloud, they come back with, wow, I thought I wrote a really good book, and now look at I did write a good book, but I missed a lot along the way because our brains just don't let us understand that piece of it,
yeah.
so that's
Well,
it.
they've turned writing around and upside down, and can you still read this? Because our mind sees the picture of what we think we're seeing, and we can miss an awful lot when we're just writing. We
Yes,
have to really use that other part of our brain.
absolutely. Well, I'm really just delighted that you were able to contribute to this chapter, and I know Sharyn kind of prompted things along to make sure. And when you write, what is your best practice as far as how do you set the stage? I know you talked about if you write in a journal book or a notebook and use a fountain pen, what other things do you kind of, because I have many people that say they want to write a book,
Yeah, I'm one of
and
the.
and many people who, 12 years later, they still haven't written that book. And it's because they haven't set up an environment that helps them to write. So
In a
what's
routine.
a
A,
routine
a routine, it's like I don't really have a good writing place. I'm in very small,
environment? Yeah.
it's a small space. I told my son if he brings anything else in here, we have to hang it from the ceiling. It's it's quite tight. So everything's done, basically if I'm sitting in bed but that's the place that I can find the quietest because the television's not on. There's no one talking to me. Early in the mornings, it,
Mhm.
I'm an early riser. So for me, getting up and writing early, my blog post was finished by 6 o'clock this morning.
Wow. That,
you know, and I throw pictures in there mostly because our attention span, people have a very short attention span. What
right,
is
right.
with this thing?
I don't know. You turn it off again and turn it back on.
All right.
There. I don't know what's happening there, but anyway. Um,
I live on the mountain. All kinds of weird things happen up here.
so I think that the biggest thing is just kind of really take the time, get a routine in gear, set your ambiance where it's quiet if that's what you need. If you need music to play, if you need your any number of things around you to make the environment right for you that inspires your creativity, and doing it consistently is probably the biggest key.
Yeah, the consistency is the hardest part. You know, I laugh sometimes because I write morning pages and I plan out my day and what's going to happen today, what I have to get done, what should get done. And I swear before the ink is dry, something will come in and swirl that all up and go, nope, you're not doing that today. And it's trying to go with when things don't go according to plan, to still find that time to write. I've been working on chapters, for a little while, and my kid, they'd like to see me finish what I've started. Um, and I'm burning daylight, so I can't waste a whole lot more.
Aw.
Uh,
Well, I know that they will enjoy what you have written and how important it is, because that's a legacy that you leave for them. It's
and
beautiful.
it needs, and the hardest part is to make it light.
Right.
Um, Trying to find that spot there where you can talk about things that are not so easy to talk about, but still the overall picture, we don't always get to see that overall picture from the broader perspective.
Right.
You notice I talk with my hands a lot.
I do too. If I had to tie my hands up, I'd be like, oh, I can't talk.
Yeah, it's I talk with my hands. But yeah, it's looking at things from a reader's perspective versus my perspective. To give them the honest, um, when I write for the people that read my stories on my blog, it's um, is it uplifting? Does it give good information? And can I lighten somebody's day? That's all, you know.
But that is so good for your mind. You've experienced health challenges and you're at a stage of your life where it would be very easy to just be inactive, but you keep your mind busy and that's what keeps you going.
Yeah, mind and body both have to stay busy.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm so delighted to see you again. I know we interviewed for last year's book with
yes,
the Golden Wisdom of Love, Legends, and Legacies. And here we are with the Imaginist. And, it's been fun to put this book together because there have been such intriguing stories.
I'm
And
looking forward to reading it.
Yes, there's so much to it. So my congratulations to you that you cared enough and wanted to be a part of this. And that's one more piece of your legacy that you're able to share with the world.
Thank you.
All right. Well, happy Halloween and have a magnificent fun day. And I love that shirt.
Yeah, I'm a scary quilter.
Well, that looks like a happy little ghost.
Yes, yeah, I'm just it's my scary quilter costume.
That's good.
It's the only Halloween costume I've ever had.
Oh,
So I figured I could spend the money on a little t-shirt and
that
make somebody
works.
laugh.
That works. Enjoy your
You
day,
too.
and we'll. I'm sure Sharyn will be in touch, and you have an awesome, wonderful day.
All right, you too.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.